Oh, hello there, and welcome down to my new studio. So I'm going to be doing a nice reveal of this space as it's built up over the next few months, but the putting area is kind of done. So I've got this really cool P7 PutView putting green in here. Obviously got the GC quad for all the data. Got my little bag of putters there. The branding iron of doom, which we're going to be talking about quite a bit. But because of everything that's been going on, moved out of the Quest Golf Academy, which we've been for many happy years. And to have somewhere as a base to get data, to film, I needed something new. And I've got this amazing little warehouse space. So the putting green is here. I'm going to have a hitting area to my left-hand side, although that is a complete tip, so I'm not going to show you that just yet. And in there, I'm going to have a foresight simulator. It's going to be absolutely class. And once everything's completed, I'll definitely do like a full-on tour. However, the whole point of this video is it's been 2 years, 4 months, 4 days since I had my last putting lesson. And just before lockdown, I managed to get in for a lesson with Lee Sullivan, who has been helping me with my putting for the last 6 years, really. And we've messaged on and off throughout the last few years when I've not been down for lessons. But considering how much I emphasize the need for players to go get coaching to improve their game, obviously as a coach, I don't feel I've been living up to that. And since getting that lab putter, I've not had any kind of coaching and understanding of if it actually suits my game. So I'm going to be chatting to Lee about my stroke, about what I want to do for the rest of 2021 going forwards. If you like what you see here as well, make sure you hit that like button with unbridled enthusiasm. Wallop it, just give it a good old bash. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get down into those comments and let me know the putter that you're currently rocking, but also some of the great putting drills that you've heard over the time you've been alive. And maybe if you were reincarnated. And we're down here at Tour X with Mr. Lee Sullivan, who I have not seen in literally 2 years. But today we're going to be having a look at my stroke, having a look at my data, seeing what I should be working on over the winter so I can actually perform well in tournaments and hopefully win. And Lee's on 20%, so he's pretty keen. It's local PGA stuff. I really won't be rubbing your hands that much. So we're going to hit a load of putts with the lab putter, see if the data it's giving off is actually as good as I hope it will be. If not, we'll switch it back to the Scotty. Lee, by the way, loves the lab. I think you said it's the best putter you've ever seen?
Odyssey Stroke Lab. Yeah. You've got a little bit of right aim, under half a degree on average, and the face change, so the difference between the face angle at address and the face at impact, is you add a little bit of closing. So that's a nice pattern. So the face angle at impact is going to be fairly square. High consistency, face angle, pretty square. Now these are all your individual face angles from the putts you hit. So if you look at your worst error there, it's 2 putts under a degree closed. Seeing a little bit of right path, but path's good. It's under a degree. You start getting over a degree, you start then becoming more of a glancing blow. So, you know, when you're transferring the energy from the putter to the board, you can lose a little bit of that energy. See that right shoulders, you know, the shoulders are definitely a little bit closed there, aren't they? So you get your shoulders a little bit closed this way, and you start to kind of rotate your torso. The putter works kind of in early, doesn't it, under the target line?
Yeah.
Kind of sucks in a little bit, and from there, you know, really you just kind of go a little bit into out, a little bit of right path. Nice kind of like torso movement.
That's what I'm known for.
But watch how the sweet spot, watch how the path just starts to go inside early, doesn't it? You know, from what we've seen. Could tidy that up a little bit. Stand more square. Let's see what happens to the path.
Okay. I will never miss the opportunity to get the laser. Look at that. So all I'm doing here in the mirror, just making sure my shoulders are nice and square to my target line. Just saw 0 at impact, 0 face angle. That felt quite nice actually.
Yeah.
Kind of feels a bit more, definitely feels straighter back.
Yeah.
I have to say that these mats that I was using as well, so I've had the mats that Phil Kenyon's designed before, but these are, they actually even smell quite nice. So I'm going to be using these quite a lot in my block practice. And with how my lab putter looks, it looks even better. And what I've agreed to do with Lee is go through one of their elite player coaching programs. So over the next 12 months, I'm going to be having lessons with Lee and detailing my progress for you guys. So hopefully what I learn, you can learn, and we can all move our putting forwards together. But with that lesson, I've already picked up some very useful info, especially based around the 3 key skills that you need to be a good golfer. Remember, I am a PGA coach myself, so I have a faint grasp of some of the things that I'm trying to do. And I've been working on my own putting stroke for obviously quite some time. But I don't consider myself an expert in the field of putting, and that's why it's always so beneficial to actually go see someone who knows what they're talking about. But I also wanted to break down something Lee said within the session, which I'm really going to be focusing on over this season. Now, Lee pointed out 3 key skills, which if you want to be very good at putting, you need to master. And they are pace, start line, and green reading. Allow me to come in close for just a moment. It's important to understand that with golf, the chances are you're never going to be able to hit the driver like Rory McIlroy. Physically and technically, the chances are he's just going to be better at that skill. While putting is very different. It requires very minimal physical input, which means in theory, even if you are terrible at striking the ball with the full swing, there's no reason why you can't put as well as the tour pro. Now, pace is the first key skill and probably the most important to focus on. Now, you kind of flip this around on its head a little bit, but pace is most important because of how big the cup is, but also the relative size of the cup the harder you hit the ball. Basically, if you hit the ball harder, the effective cup size becomes smaller. But also how hard you want to hit the putt will determine the line that you actually take. So this here is a dead straight putt. And as long as I keep the pace up on the stroke, the ball's going to stick on the line and go into the hole. So this here is a 7-foot putt, and you can see how PutView has given me an ideal line on which it wants the ball to go into the hole. The little bit of a lack of pace, how it didn't hold its line, it actually veered off to the left. But if I'm firmer with the putt, it stays closer to that intended line, and that just caught the left side. In other words, you can use a variety of different paces and yet still get the ball to go in the hole. This drill is called Challenge Zone. Now, obviously, I'm doing it on my putting green here, but you can imagine how this can be extended and expanded across a whole putting surface, but also across a whole different raft of distances. And the whole point of this drill is to hit consecutive putts and just try to get the ball shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. So I need to try and get it as close to the end of the challenge zone as possible. Looking where I want it to finish. Sit, 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 sit. Is it going to give me it? No, that's a 0. That's a 0. Okay, come on. As close to the end as you can get. All right, that's pretty decent. Slightly shorter. Trusting the touch. Okay, it's not too bad. Yeah, pretty decent. Oh, go, go. Weak. Now, start line is a deceptively simple thing to practice, but also a frustrating and annoying thing to get right. What I mean by that is this gate drill I'm using, if it goes wrong, it can be so frustrating. So I've got a straight putt here, 7.5 feet, and all I've done is I've set up 2 tees either start of my target line. I just want to get the ball passing through that gate. Now, hopefully you would have seen this drill before, but also this is a fantastic bridge between practice and play. I'm focusing here on lining the club up to go through the gate, then onto my target, which is obviously the hole, and I'm just going to let it go. Oh, it's just clipped the right-hand tee. Oh, like I said, frustrating. Because the gate gives you instant feedback as well. So one thing I struggle with through the stroke is lifting my head to try and see where it's gone, and I end up kind of almost going towards the target with my body rather than just letting the putter head flow. So this allows me to understand, even without looking at the line, if my actual start line is good. That one was good. Now, green reading is obviously something that Now this is something which is obviously quite difficult to talk about in this type of environment. It's much easier to demonstrate and give a little bit more expert coaching out on a golf course. If I want to putt which is breaking, say, right to left, left to right, it doesn't matter. I draw a straight line in my mind from the ball to the hole. So that is my direct target line, as if it was a straight putt. Then what I do, using aim point or just crouching down, looking from different angles on the green, I try and figure out how much I need to aim outside the hole. From behind the ball, I'm going to draw another imaginary line out to that side of the hole. Now in my mind, I have created there an angle, target line and aim line. And if my read is correct, that whole area in between those two lines, I have to play with depending on how hard I'm going to hit the ball. And that really helps me visualize at what point that putt is going to start breaking, how hard I need to hit it, and what it's going to do, how it's going to react on the green.
I'm almost ready to turn the heating on in my house. So everything went a lot better than expected, to be honest. My putting stroke was solid. The numbers that the lab was spitting out were really good. New studio looks pretty awesome, and when it's all completed, yeah, it's gonna be class. I'm gonna get this video done actually, and then head back down there and try and get the hitting area done. But get down into those comments below. Let me know what you think about those 3 key skills, and if there's any drills and any thoughts that you want to add in to the community we have here. Please wallop that like button harder than a 50-foot putt up the hill into grain. And also, if you haven't already, please make sure that you're a subscriber to the channel. Really helps the channel out, helps it grow, but then also you will get notified of new videos as they go up if you hit the little bell icon. All right guys, once more, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.